be discreet. Yes?
Of course.
Keeping out of trouble? A little jest. What, we lost no one to the storm, but many homes have been damaged. And the people... Something you wanted?
Clever.
Gelarde. Ah, è così. Meet me by...
This would be so much... What have we here?
Vittorio, what a scene. You have rescued me. You were the very spirit of justice. What do you say? Will you return Rigere to the sea? Do I know ships, she asks. I know every vessel on these waters. Every... Diveros? You will not regret this.
Here you find civilization, Aimika. That is, a wise and prudent decision.
Good, you are here. Clario, I say still that you are fortunate. The ship was nearly lost, then you sink. Come, we will see your Defiant out to sea.
We should address the matter of our ship's resources before we get on. It saddens me to inform you that we lost several crew. However, Port Margé appears to be well supplied, and I expect the recent... I suggest we contract for additional supplies and crew before we return to open water.
On behalf of the Principes and Patrina, I must request we meet in parley. Wait, Aimika, hear me out but for a moment, and I will make it worth your while. I have heard some marvelous tales regarding your ventures in the Deerwood. In fact, you are the first dragon slayer I have ever met. Some fools would seek to make a fortune by pilfering from what...
He's done his research. Might as well hear him out.
I believe you have met such a fool. Captain Benweth of the Drake. Allow me to introduce one of my more special acquisitions. A diamond in...
Not to say that I ain't wildly honoured to be making the acquaintance of a lady as charming as yourself.
Voxen of Ubilnet Merla. Careful, ship hunter. Mind that you do not confuse a useful skill set for a non-expendable one. My apologies. Rest assured, it will not happen again.
Apologies, Captain. Didn't mean it, really. We're up all night, you know. Searching. You've been at sea a while. Your mind starts playing tricks on you, aye? Well, mine plays tricks on others, too. Usually don't mean much. Maybe see a bit of shadow, hear a bit of tune. Not unless the person's sensitive.
Gelarde. Then that should make this easy. I am keen to show my rascal of a compatriot some much-needed humility.
For on tease, for do my job for me, friend. Hope you don't die in the effort.
Benweth is no captain of mine, Imika. It is not beneath my fee, yet I do seek to temper his actions when they would endanger the Principe altogether. As an ally to the Knights of the Crucible, I believe Benweth sought to take you down a notch. Word of Benweth's raid on the Defiant will spread throughout the Deadfire. More fools will seek to prey upon you. I would suggest you stave off all others by making an example of Benweth. Benweth's Drake took damage during the storm. Eventually, he will need to dock for repairs. He is rather an unrefined creature, but he is a most skilled...
Unrefined? Begging your pardon, Captain, but I'd be the eye fuck. As for Benweth, that sucker of squid tits be as predictable as the tide.
That would be felicitous indeed, as I believe the traitor Remaro hides there as well.
Wouldn't have even thought of it if you hadn't brought it up, sir. Now, I ain't hardly in any hurry to leave the fine company of the gentlemen of leisure, but to cap adding to that, you sail into Fort Deadlight not knowing your innies from your outies, you might very well find the locals cannon fucking you. Oh, you won't be regretting this, Watcher. At least so long as you keep us heavy in grog and light on the onions.
He's not sleeping near my berth, I promise you that much.
I sail now for Dunwich, my own safe port. I will await you there, should you be successful in schooling our way.
The ring of a bell comes to you on a cold wind. The ring comes again and again, until soon the air is full With the sound, you feel a resonance in your core. A bell ringing in tune with all the others. The tide of bells recedes. You lever yourself up, you are alone. And then, an indistinct figure stands before you, flickering between forms like a fire-cast shadow. And at their back, 4 indistinct shades hover. You feel an eternity stretch out behind each of them. The shifting image of Berith settles on the aspect of the paladin.
Watcher.
Her voice is the discordant clangor of gongs struck out of time.
I tasked you to discover Aethys's intentions. Tell me what you have learned.
The pallid knight knits her brows.
He does not seek to return to the
Her sickly pale skin pulls tight across the bones of her face, as if the shell of this aspect does not quite fit the figure nearest Berith dissolves and reforms in the image of a thin-lipped. The goddess Wodica strides forward.
Does Aethys frighten you, Berith? He should. Magran subdued Aethys's influence.
From out of Wodica's shadow shuffles a hunched, bald man you recognize as the god Scan. His skin is mapped with swollen... He does not speak, but stares up at Wodica with naked loathing. Wodica steeples her long, knob-jointed fingers.
We must annihilate Aethys now. A moon would do the job nicely.
The figure beside the aspect of Berith flows forward in a swirling cloud of the ash falls to the tiles and reveals a molten-skinned woman, leaning on a Magran's glowing lips curl in disdain.
We must find a solution to the problem of I acted in haste during the Saints' War. You will not goad me into doing the same now. To move against him while his plans are unknown would be the height of foolishness. We must find wisdom in precaution.
The pallid knight tilts her head to the side and gives you the long-suffering, narrow-eyed look of apparent dealing.
No.
Another of the silent figures steps forward, and the warm, golden light of a...
Let's all take a deep, calming breath. Perhaps cooler heads will prevail.
Behind Helia's word, Helia peers down at you, her avian eyes blinking.
Oh, it's you. It's been some time, Watcher of Cadnua. But not time enough for me to forget.
Helia's voice drops to a low rumble. It catches in your mind.
Few are the kith who would dare make a pledge to a god and then so brazenly betray them. Did you see them on the street, I wonder? Those hollow-eyed children bereft of souls. Did you smile when their parents sobbed? Would that you were not Berith's tool, that I might demand my most vicious children rip your flesh from your... Instead, I must send my children to you with a gift.
The birds circling above Helia raise their voices in a cacophonous symphony of screeching. Her lips upturn in the small...
When you return to your ship, dear Watcher, do think of me.
Magran casts a sidelong glance toward Helia.
So much for cooler heads.
You can't be certain, but you think you might see Magran, great goddess of fire, trial and war. Stifling a laugh, the crows, ravens, rooks, and jackdaws sitting on Helia's shoulders cackle. Magran says nothing, though a great gout of steam spouts from her...
Aethys has been separated from us for too long. Isn't it possible he intends only to gather enough souls to reclaim his realm?
Helia puts a feathered hand to her chest.
He wouldn't. Betrayal is not in his nature.
Scan shuffles forward.
Yes, yes. We should welcome Aethys's return to the fold. Then, when he believes himself to be in our good graces...
Scan pauses, inspecting you.
Ah. And here is the Watcher, who delivered poor...
Scan licks the ragged edge of his lipless mouth and grins.
I did not expect such a deliciously ruthless idea.
Helia's feathered crest stands on end.
You wretched little creature.
The Pallid Knight gestures for silence.
Aethys cannot be killed, but he may be subdued. Yet to do so will both stand in his favor.
Magrin grits her black glass teeth.
That is why
She begins to pace. Her steps leave little trails of fire, and Magrin stops and balls her hands into flaming fists.
even if we manage to destroy his current form, there is the possibility he could return.
The Pallid Knight casts a cold, cutting glare in Magrin's direction.
Magrin speaks too freely. That knowledge is beyond your ken.
Worika waves the gods to silence.
Aethys gathers strength. His strength is a threat to us.
Her voice takes on a sharp, almost panicked edge.
There is no sensible answer to the question of a resurgent Aethys, other than decisive, final action.
We will act when it is appropriate to do so, and not before.
The Pallid Knight steps away from the half-circle of assembled gods. She pulls the words she speaks next come not from her mouth, but
follow him, Watcher.
The black of the Pallid Knight's irises expand until her eyes are as dark and cold as the...
Your debt to me remains unpaid.
She stares at you, unblinking. Like a needle drawn to a magnet. You are pulled toward her, one compulsion. Helpless to resist, you tumble into her impossible up. You fall wildly, endlessly, unable to find your bearings or slow your spin. And in the distance, above, no, you angle yourself toward it. Search. A small silver bell appears just inches from your fingertips. The moment you touch it, your soul slams into your body with all the force of a... You blink open your eyes and find yourself on the...
Of course.
You're far from home, farmer. How did you make it all this way in your little boat?
Why do we gotta be farmers just 'cause we're from Deerwood?
Are you a farmer?
Yeah, but you can't just assume. We got rabble-rousers too.
I'm the harbor master, Kauha. I must ask your reason for docking in Neketaka. Yes, you do. You can't dock a ship in the harbor and have your run of Queen's Birth.
Show them. Show them what you are.
What? Look, I've heard enough. If you value your life, get back on your ship and head for...
I will help you.
What's the matter with you? What are you doing? If you're trying to scare us with some cipher mischief...
Now.
What? What is this?
Run for it! So much for discretion.
Is that all?
And now Port Marche is behind us. I thought this would be a relief.
Dora must think I work for free. Be with you in just a... Almost had it. Damn, you're a... hazard of the work, really. Came in on the sloop? I can hammer your ship together if you're apt to pay me for it. Oh, come take a look. Back for more, are ya? Haven't had enough of old Aye. Captain Redora hasn't paid me for her. While I'm up to my nose in debt, the wild mare gobbles up her... And now, pirates are holding my feet to the fire over some sham of a deal. If I don't get Redora's payment, I might as well start carving my... You do that? A fair price goes without saying, Cully. It all comes down to blasted pans and pyres in the end.
The Hazanui is at the palace, blaming the Valians for attacking one of their ports.
Merla, how is every ship hunter taken?
I don't have a voice for shanties these days.
Do you enjoy coin, my friend? Can you lift a sword? Ado, my friend. I knew our paths would cross eventually. Que? No, you mistake me. Tell me, you are the one who sails that fine ship, Ak? Terrorize the docks with spirits. Ak? I am Aboko. And 1,000 times I practice my speech. Mera. I am supposed to be in the business of giving bounties. But no one will unfurl their sail for my humble payments. But You will take the job? Agrasima. Something special for my first hunter, then. I will start you on Marian, the mad animancer. She tortures her victims. My contact saw her leaving Port Marche and heading west of...
You say I cannot down the rest? Watch me, amico. Madico, it is no wonder I thirst. Ado, why do you stare? Merla, and he hired muscle. Sientere, but you are too late to collect. A gang in the northern alley stole every coin. I cannot hire a crew, much less repay Zamar. They caught me unawares in the alley north of the Wild Mare. Do not fall for the same trap. When you got their leader, tell them Radora sent you.
Where in the blazes is that old man?
you seen an old elf hanging around here lately? Dresses funny, probably drunker than an eel in a barrel of meat. Andra's crushing void, I thought as much. Listen, the guy I'm looking for owes me a lot of money. 5,000 coppers. You help me find him? And fine, Andra's great sagging tits, fine. How about this? I give you 60% and we never discuss this again. Haggling for the fun of it not keeping you busy enough? The man I'm looking for, Oswald, was especially fond of one of the courtesans upstairs. And maybe you can get more out of her than I can. She refuses to speak to me. She wasn't receptive to my particular charms. But maybe you can get more out of her than I can. Come find me after you've talked to her.
Come, lay your head on my breast. I will read to you the— I'm sure I don't know who you're talking about. Now please leave. If I knew a man named Oswald, and if that man was in danger, I would still decline to be involved. Now, is there something else I can do for you? Oh, her. Yes, she is persistent, isn't she? She grew incensed when I asked her to leave. She's no longer welcome in my room. I do hope she's not a friend of yours. Her manners are atrocious. I'm sure I don't know who you're talking about. Now please leave. That explains quite a lot. Oswald has visited oft of late. He's a sentimental old man, and he longs for the words of— He's grown paranoid recently, however, always muttering about the He came to me in a panic a few days ago and shoved his journal into my hands. I wonder, perhaps his journal would help you find him? Have you come to hear some verse? 100 copper pans, a reasonable feed. Come, lay your head on my breast. Do you know Skilber? She wrote in the time before Adir's marriage to Kul—
An exquisite poet. Oh, this—
Ship at dawn. The wind. My brother's fingers pull— I, a horizon whose— You, slack-jawed and groaning. A pleasant diversion, yes?
Ahoy, Captain. If I could bend your ear a moment, you run a tight shop, and you ain't no terrible person, neither. It'd be a welcome change from the gentleman of leisure. I've a gift for you. This trinket be from one of the first ships I hunted. You be entirely welcome. Now, if you'll pardon me.
See something you like? Aloth! This is the last place I expected to see you. Have your interests changed so much since our time at Bragon Hill?
No, I still enjoy tile puzzles and deflecting personal questions. Anyway, what are you doing here?
I could ask the same of you. I make my own hours, meet fascinating people, and the coin's nothing to sneer at. Better than stuffy old books and unflattering robes. It's good to see you again, Aloth. Anyway, I should get back to it.
It was lovely seeing you. Perhaps lovely is too strong a word. I meant, I can see where I may have confused the poor fellow in our academy.
Did you enjoy the show? There's more to see till later, then.
Thank you again for maintaining my story in front of Vanessa and the others. I didn't enjoy deceiving them, but it seemed simpler than the alternative. I realized there could be nothing between us. But it was nice to have a friend all the same. You stood with me through more than anyone I've ever known. But a lot has happened over the last 5 years. After we parted, I set out to destroy... It's controlled us for too long. I wanted to free Kith from it. So for 5 years, I've been tracking down Leaden Key circles, searching for the places where they're trying to undo them. The task has been more difficult than I anticipated. I don't think I fully understood the weight of the decisions I would have to make. It was much easier when I only had to follow someone else's lead. My father's, Theos's, yours. I haven't. After we defeated Theos, I thought the hard part of undoing his work would be tracking down the Leaden Key's members and operations. Perhaps this would be easier with an example. I went to a village in Old Valia. Centuries ago, the Leaden Key had intervened to end some... The details were lost, but what had endured was a practice of ritual bloodletting.
You got an eye for charming little towns, I'll say that much.
At every full moon, the villagers would feed the soil with their blood. No one, young or old, sick or hale, was exempt. I can't blame the villagers. After all, they were led into... The village priest administered the practice. Grim old fellow. He was a tyrant. I was certain, so I arranged for him to have an accident. The old man died. They were convinced his death was an ill omen. They blamed it, so they began bloodletting every week, turning on their neighbors for giving too little. Instead of a handful dying each year, a few perished every week. Is it? In the end, the villagers suffered. I keep wondering what I might have done differently, or how I could have known better. I suppose so. Thank you. It's a relief to share this burden.
If you told me a few years ago that I'd end up following you on another crazy errand, not because I got anything against you, more that... Yet, here we are again, probably on our way to die. Well, you already did, but me, I mean... All real nice of you to share. Someday I'll have to get you... Wouldn't you know it, this time is shaping up to be crazier, but I gotta say, I appreciate how you've handled things. Thought you were weird at first, of course, but you've surprised me. Well, that's why I mentioned it. I've been meaning to ask, though. How is it you never seem to lose your way? What is it tells you you're on the right path? Well, that's quite a feat. You gotta... When I was a boy, things were simpler. Aethys was more like a character we read about in church. Yeah, I guess it was. Well, most stories had him helping folks or making the... You pray to him, he might help you too. There was no cost to it. No confusion. Following Aethys was right. I had no reason to question. Do you think there's any way that following him could still be the right path? After all we've seen? I guess we'll see what he has in store soon enough. Anyway, I didn't mean for this to get depressing. I think this was just a long way of saying, I appreciate the way you've guided things. Makes me feel like I'm doing some good, going with you.
Is that all? Have you got any leads on that mad old goat yet? Oswald, you really stepped in it now, haven't you? Where could they have taken him? Not really. To be honest, I spent most of the trip out from Defiance Bay. Damn, if only I could find that captain who gave us passage to the Deadfire. When our ship neared Nekataka, the bosun told me about a weird temple on an island in the Karatapu Channel, southwest of the city. She wouldn't tell me what it was for, though. Got real spook. Go take a look then, and let me know what you find. With any luck, you'll catch the old goat there in one piece, and we'll both leave here with some weight in our purse.
Close enough. Kumplanka, I yield! Let's not do anything hasty, ak? Nasenale. I've never had a roof over my head longer than... I guess cutting me loose was cheaper on my parents than a passage back to the Republics. Or a few bites of bitter squash. Agrasima. That'll staunch my pains for an evening at least. Ak, if they're the same ones who robbed Radora blind. The boss and his wolf sleep their fun off by day. But by night, he and his Botso friends keep to the alley giving out bruises.
Dim in the lantern.
What do you need?
So she asked him what he calls that trick, and he says, "You the one causing trouble in Cotter's neighborhood. I thought Remaro's pup kept better company."
Ahoy, friend. So you still be doing that old referring yourself on?
Cotter has not missed the sound of your voice, sir. Your smoke and mirror ghosts do not impress Kaletzia, and they...
Sorry, Valian names all sound the same to me. Which one is the pretty wolf?
You'll know soon enough. You want something from Kata? Depends. You seeking Vengiata for that house? If Kata did such a thing, he might extend gratitude.
Captain?
Go for the arms, trinket! That was about as useful as a bump on a pickle.
Done and done.
Of course.
Ahoy there.
Any news worth telling? Best news I've heard since I arrived on this rock.
What of Captain Redora?
Has she sobered up yet? Or do we need to shake her by her... Robbed? Abidon's fist! Someone's feeling bold to prey on a captain and queen's matters being what they are. That'll be the Iron Thunderer. A cannon. Maybe she doesn't stand up to Rawatai standards. But for 1,000 pyres, she'll crack a hull, scour a sail, or splinter a deck like an imp with something to prove. More's the pity. Come back when you... Well, come take a look.
It is not as easy as it seems to turn a profit in Neketaka, but there is opportunity.
Where is my postinago of a brother? You there? Have you Smadiko? Where is that spoiled brat? I'm trying to be the responsible one. Laro is past due for a company meeting.
Must be nice to be a layabout. Uncle Angbert would have...
Fuck. I am angry and jealous, and you'd think this district was a maze, the way he manages to hide. The spirit magnet. Sientere, that if you desire to get in the graces of the Valiant trading, could I persuade you to watch out for Laro? I'd pay generously for your would you? I'll be waiting at the estate in case he happens to Laro and his miscreant friends carouse at the tavern, the falls above the Adra mill. If you see him, tell Laro to get his good-for-nothing
Well, we do have this thing with chasing a rogue god to the ends of Aora, but...
Have you heard about the commotion at the palace? Of course. Something about Luminous Adra. A giant made of Luminous Adra. All I know is that they're all at each other's throats up there.
You both attest that you have made all possible efforts to come to a peaceful...
Who is this Nasenale? How many cousins do you...
Postinago. Does that look like any cousin of mine?
How should I know? Your kin lie with eels.
We have business. What do you want? The family keeps you on a tight leash, Laro. Will getting impaled on a Valera blade proves...
What's your words of? You want the Juana?
My bad so to the tribals. We should be free to settle matters on
Small wonder the old empire collapsed in civil strife if this is the Valian way.
And how do your colonies fare, Adira?
This street thug called my family a warren of corrupt inbreds. But is
that wolf he calls mother would have us live out our days A threat? Diveros? We are the sons of the wealthiest families in Deadfire.
Miller! Scatter!
What? Where are you going, you stuffed shirt? This isn't over, you coward! You can't...
Oh, all right. Maybe just this once.
Ah, yes. The newcomer. Lady Izali Bardato. Will your animal be tracking? I will hold you to it. You saw my son dueling with the Valera boy. When Valera and Bardato cross each other, only blood and sword. Word has spread fast about the little spectacle at the docks. Queen's Beth. Whispers of a Valera plot. You are a newcomer to the Deadfire. Zilly Valera strums a lute by the watchtowers. And try not to alert the Valeras of our knowledge. That is the point of him.
Can we talk?
A giant? One of the Rathun?
No, much bigger. Such is the rumor.
Sounds like sailor tales to me.
Apologies, lady, if I intrude upon your peace. If you are after some scenery, I suggest the far end of the... I'm hardly one to judge, but... I'm not sure you're getting the spy. You a distant Bardato cousin or something? I don't know how Etzali think I can help, and what is it you want to do with this information? Side with Etzali? I may not approve of my family's methods, but I am not about to sabotage them either. Of course I do. I caught cousin Persa running her mouth off about the job Belda got her involved in. Persa's been spending time in the gullet. But before you go, Etzali can't hear about this. I told Persa and all the rest of them not to make trouble. If the Atello still runs the family, maybe...
The Queen is holding court today with the Valians and Rawatayans.
How long before they're killing each other?
Wager on it?
Have you any food? Surely you've a scrap to spare.
themselves or just to us? At this rate, who'll be left to suffer the Mataru's ire?
What have we here?
Do you think the hole was already here, or they dug it after they thought up the name?
My own ears. Dario said there's treasures in that pit.
Shh! Have you lost your wits?
In and out, Noko.
We've no intent to disturb you.
Bayer, I don't know this one.
We asked not to be disturbed. What are you doing here?
Damn it, Persa!
Zilius' family. I told him so he wouldn't try to get involved or stand in our way.
I've had enough of this clown. Get out of the way, Persa. Once is an accident. Twice...
You're going down! Right between the eyes. You're going down.
You killed him! Let me go and I won't say the Bardato sent you, right? No need to kill me over a family tiff, eh? I just check for traps. Belder and her crew are the vault crackers, not this job? I'm out. It never happened. Belder's plan was for everyone to converge on the Bardato vault. You won't find me anywhere near the Bardato fortune. Can we agree that that's worth sparing my life? Deal! If I can just find that damned pouch.
You must be new. Lucky for you, we have a special rate for newcomers.
times.
Happy to oblige.
Go for the eyes, trinket!
Lava beyond seeking.
That hurt. That was about as useful as a bump on a pickle. All right.
Hey, fresh face. Welcome to the hole. Just got 2 rules, yeah? Need something? What you need? I've got just the thing for you, fresh face. Just the thing. Do you prefer...
I have already dislodged one.
Sorry, lad. Thought that chip on your shoulder were for all to see.
Do you ever have a thought and just decide to keep it to yourself?
More than you know, my dear mate. More than you know.
Careful.
You're looking prettier than when you left or so.
Merda, cut it out.
You can't have Vax for a brother without picking all done. Oh, that's easy. Vax has got nothing on me.
Am I supposed to play nanny?
They listen to you, Martino.
Ah, a new face in the Valera halls. Courtly manners are welcome here. You kept Laro and Orso from the Beyond. We could use such a mediator. Martino has need of muscle and brains outside of the Valera house.
Let me take point on this one, Father. Some Royal Deadfire crews have lately taken to pirate hunting. One such crew has been boasting of their victories near the wild. Hunting Principe dogs is our business. With all these problems with the Bardatos, it would be better if they took their business elsewhere.
Well, you could always start shooting the shit out of one another and leave good Deadfire folk be. Just a suggestion.
I try not to think too hard about this peasant's errand.
all those souls around.
Some nights it's the lantern that lulls me to sleep. It pulses like a heart in my hand.
If you find that comforting, then I'm glad for you.
Keep your voices down, my cullies.
Sing us another about the shores of Rauatai.
How may I help? Indeed.
Defiance Bay, am I right? I was but a face in the crowd, but
he's had more than a few. Perhaps
we haven't imbibed anything we can't regurgitate later.
Also something I'd like to avoid.
So, what brings you here, friend? You come by for a drink or just a chat? I do not understand. We have done nothing wrong. Joking. There's no... Back to the ship! We should never have come!
How can I help? I'll be right back.
My intelligence speaks of agitated whispers in the Havon, then. And don't leave me in suspense. Treachery from within. Now we know enough to sidestep this particular... I suggest we allow this heist to play out as intended. This will be the end of the Valera's short. It most decidedly is. I have no use for a faint heart. Speak up. My business never sits still for long. Because we do not belong in the same business. They're little better than the pirates they're charged with.
Better is self-deception, mayhaps.
Fratello doesn't make my affairs any easier with his wayward Oh dear. You think I'd put myself in pistol range of that old imp? Practicality suits you, you know. I have little objection to discussing the matter. I see.
Aloth. Is there any way you can bring Islamir back?
The whole point of suppressing her was to keep her out of my head.
I miss her.
You made the right choice, darling.
Ado, what brings you to the Hall of the Valeras? The Bardato Bank shut. This is the richest prospect on Iora.
Can't make coin at the expense of others? Now that...
If you know a better way of squeezing profit out of these islands, Ezali is a rich thug.
I no longer hear the perverted anthems of Rauatai echoing across Queen's Birth. Gone without a scratch. Stick with me and you'll be on the winning side when the dust settles. Merla, you and my father are too alike. Go on. I'm still waiting on word for the next...
Either you have good news, Or you have overindulged at the tavern? If we must. What is it? After everything that she... Madiko, what is she planning?
You're not considering this? The Bardatos have nearly ruined us!
Enough, Martino. I will not let our families tear each other to ribbons while I can avoid it. Tell Ezali to meet us here. We won't be lured into a trap.
I've noticed you seem to be frequently at odds with others in your order.
Some of my brethren don't understand why I gotta do what I do. But
Hey.
watch closely, darling.
This area is off limits. Return the way you came.
Already there. Now what are you hiding? All done? Of course. Darling. Now what are you hiding? I'm a natural. Now what are you? I'm a natural. You can't have that. It's all in the hands.
This area is off limits. Return the way you came.
Is that all? I'm a natural. It's all in the hands. Now what do you hide? It's all in the hands. Oh. Maybe just you can't have I'm a natural. Of course, darling.
This area is off limits. Return the way you came.
My turn. You've got it.
Speak up. My business never sits still for long. Fratello doesn't make my affairs any easier with his wayward ambitions. You're serious? If this is some Valera trick, I'm not walking into a trap without keeping an eye on you as very well. If nothing else, this promises to be
You run your bank like a crime syndicate. Some of us struggle to tell the difference.
We can take it up with the director anytime you feel like explaining why your children are intimidating my merchants. I see our would-be mediator has arrived. Well, we're here.
I would not willingly welcome a Bardato beneath my roof for the sake of a jest.
As long as the Valera remembers his place, we shouldn't have any problems.
My place is in the dueling ring. Care to let the gods decide, Lady Bardato?
Quiet, Martino. Watcher, now would be the time to lay out your reasoning.
How dare you!
It's an open secret, Izali. Or do you mean to say you're actually the last to know?
One does not arm the competition. Besides, lesser people have made more of themselves without the aid of banks. Vagabonds. The only thing I'll say for Otello is that he is a son of the Republics. I'll treat him like any enemy of note.
I'm amazed you can say this with a straight face, Izali.
Once you own the castle, things change. Yes. Yes, I do. They are passable sailors.
Of course, but...
I want the Principe out of the trade lanes.
What?
Half of this month's shipments are missing. I'll give you coin and crew for 5 ships to earn back my investment.
6 ships. With 6 I will drive the Principe from these waters like rats from a fire.
Even money says the Principe already be shaking in their timbers at the raw thought of your 6 fish-staking ships.
You think yourself the first to underestimate us, little...
6 ships. I believe we just made a deal, Valer.
Then it's settled?
So it seems. For the time being. Time will tell if this arrangement is a favorable one. My hosts, you'll excuse me if I...
Never saw myself breaking bread with a Bardato.